In the 3rd year of my engagement with Andrew, the beautiful mistress he kept outside became pregnant. This news spread like wildfire within the circle, causing me to lose all my dignity. At my birthday party, Andrew casually wrapped his arm around the girl and walked up to me with a nonchalant smile. "Don't worry. Mrs. Moo will always be you. The child will be raised by you in the future." Everyone held their breath, watching us. I was slightly stunned and was about to speak while touching my belly when the powerful uncle from the Moo family placed his hand on my waist and chuckled softly. "She can't raise him, because she'll be raising your cousin." That day, most of the people in the northern circle of Beijing knew that Andrew had lost his mind. Chapter 1. Private Club. Room 8016. As I was about to push open the door, I heard voices inside. A private gathering. "Why would you bring your mistress here? Don't say I didn't warn you. Valentina will be here any moment." Andrew's long legs were slightly apart. He nonchalantly bit a cigarette from the pack and lit it, saying, "So what if she comes? If it weren't for the strict family rules, needing to match in status, who would get engaged to such a boring woman? I'm so fed up with her clinging to me. I wish she would just call off the engagement." After he finished speaking, the crowd burst into laughter. "Who in the circle doesn't know? Valentina is your simp. No matter when. If you turn around, she'll always be behind you. Do you think if Andrew brings his mistress home, she'll call off the engagement? No way. At most, Valentina will cry and force Andy to break up with her, but she would never be willing to end the engagement." Andrew flicked his cigarette ash without rebuttal. Those words were very satisfying to him. Andrew and I grew up together as childhood sweethearts. He was always the first to stand up for me in everything. After graduation, we got engaged under the arrangement of both families. I stood outside the door, my hand, hanging at my side, clenched tightly. My eyes turned red uncontrollably. Chapter 2. Andrew lifted his gaze and saw me standing outside the door. He stubbed out his cigarette, his arm wrapped around the girl's waist, leaning lazily on the sofa. He didn't care at all whether I heard their conversation. There was no trace of embarrassment on his face for being caught cheating by his fiancée. Anna wanted to come and have some fun. The other young men in the room exchanged amused glances. "Sister, please don't blame Mr. Moo. It was me who wanted to come. I've never been to a gathering like this, and I wanted to gain some experience." Ugh. She suddenly covered her mouth and started dry heaving. Everyone turned to look at her. "Sorry. I didn't mean to. I just feel a bit nauseous." Ugh. Andrew's brow furrowed tightly, and he said, "I'll have the assistant take you to the hospital." The assistant hadn't had time to act. Anna grabbed Andrew's arm, bit her lower lip, and stammered, "I'm not sick. I'm." She lifted her gaze to me. "I'm pregnant." Chapter 3. As soon as she said that, the room fell so silent that you could hear a pin drop. Andrew's expression showed no hint of happiness. His eyes darkened. Suddenly, I laughed, took off the ring from my middle finger, and threw it at him. "Andrew, let's break off our engagement. From now on, we go our separate ways." The others exchanged glances. "Sister-in-law, don't listen to that woman's nonsense." "Yeah, sister-in-law. She's just trying to drive a wedge between you and Andy so she can take your place." Small quarrels didn't matter. They were just for entertainment. But if it escalated to breaking off the engagement, there was no way to explain it to the family. The ring hit the ground with a crisp sound. I turned and walked away. "What are you still standing there for? Go after her." David Fu, who had been silent the whole time, finally spoke up. Andrew's eyes darkened even more. "What's there to chase after? Whether the baby is born or not is uncertain. Even if it's born, it will be raised by her. Once she figures it out, she'll naturally come back." David exhaled a puff of smoke and reminded him, "I said the same thing not long ago. And then your sister-in-law became someone else's wife." Andrew thought of the grand wedding Joel had recently held for Lisa. He looked in the direction of the hallway, his expression unclear. The next second, he stepped out and chased after me. Chapter 4. After leaving the club, I drove to a bar. Amid the clinking of glasses, I kept pouring drink after drink down my throat. The table was littered with empty bottles. During these 3 years of engagement, I had dreamed every day of wearing a wedding dress. But now, I stood up to go to the bathroom, my steps unsteady. I almost made a close acquaintance with the floor. I didn't feel the expected pain. When I opened my eyes, I saw Luis, dressed in a tailored suit. Miss Jean? Luis, the true power holder of the Mu family. Also, Andrew's uncle, known for his ruthless tactics. Remembering all the rumors about him, fueled by alcohol, I grabbed his tie and stood on tiptoe to kiss him. Luis's gaze was like dusty black obsidian, dark with a hint of shock. He maintained a respectful distance and asked, "Valentina, who am I?" I raised my right hand, my slender, fair fingers slightly curved, tracing down his Adam's apple. "Luis, you are Luis." As soon as I spoke, a wave of dizziness hit me, and he lifted me into his arms. Luis ignored the shocked stares around us. He carried me directly into the elevator. Chapter 5. In the early morning, I turned over. As soon as I opened my eyes, I met Luis's deep, dark gaze. I quickly pulled the blanket up and sat up with a start. Luis raised an eyebrow, glanced at me, said nothing, and picked up the cigarette pack from the bedside table, knocking out a cigarette and lighting it. As he moved, I stared wide-eyed at the bite mark on his collarbone. Could I have been the one who bit him? Miss Jean. Hearing him call me, I looked up. Yesterday was my first day back in the country, and I was taken advantage of by Miss Jean in front of everyone. Taken advantage of? The events of last night flashed through my mind like a movie. I had drunk too much at the bar and clung to him, kissing and biting. I vaguely remember hearing him say, "Miss Jean, I'm not the kind of person who takes things lightly. Are you sure you want to continue?" "Shut up. Don't talk. Kiss me." Remembering what I said last night, I wanted to find a hole to bury myself in. "Mr. Mu, I'm very sorry for what happened last night." I took off the watch from my wrist and carefully placed it on the bedside table on his side. "I don't have any money with me right now, so this watch will have to serve as compensation." After saying that, I realized I was at fault and added, "Is that okay?" Luis picked up the watch and toyed with it. His narrow eyes narrowed further. "Miss Jean, do you think my first time is only worth a watch?" My hands, clutching the blanket, began to sweat. "Miss Jean, you slept with me, so you need to take responsibility." I thought I had misheard. What? "Marry me. From now on, when Andrew sees you, he'll have to respectfully call you auntie, and I won't cheat." I carefully studied his expression. "Why?" "Because I hate being taken advantage of." Chapter 6. Half an hour later, we walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau holding red marriage certificates. I sneaked a glance at the man beside me, feeling a sense of unreality. At that moment, my phone rang from inside my bag. I looked at the screen, saw the caller ID, and answered. "What's up?" Andrew assumed I was still angry about what happened yesterday. "I waited in front of your house all night." "Where did you go?" "Send me your location, and I'll come to you." "You need to explain yourself." I looked at the big sign of the Civil Affairs Bureau. I sent him my location directly. Beijing Civil Affairs Bureau Marriage Registration Office. At the bar, Andrew froze when he saw the message. His brother, Samuel, leaned over to take a look. The hand holding his glass wobbled, and the glass nearly fell to the floor. "Holy crap! Is sister-in-law planning to marry you?" As soon as he said that, everyone else crowded around to see. His mistress is pregnant, so Valentina is probably worried it will affect her position as Mrs. Mu. Isn't she forcing Andy to marry her right now? When I saw her throw the ring yesterday, I thought she was serious. But this? Who in Beijing doesn't know that Valentina can't live without Andrew? I never believed she'd really call off the engagement. So, Andy, what are you going to do? After all, it's your fault. Are you really going to marry Valentina now? Andrew didn't respond. He typed a message in the chat. Isn't getting married right now a bit too fast? After sending it, he tossed the phone aside. He pulled out a cigarette from the pack, bit it, and lit it. He looked quite conflicted. A few minutes later, he glanced at the chat, but there was no new message. He stubbed out the cigarette, grabbed his suit jacket from the sofa, and walked out the door. Chapter 7. In front of the Civil Affairs Bureau. Luis opened his phone's camera. I was puzzled. What's going on? Last night at the bar, many people saw you hugging and kissing me. My assistant's phone has been blowing up with calls from reporters. Posting a picture of our marriage certificate on social media could solve a lot of problems. To prove his point, he even opened his assistant's WeChat and showed me. A screenshot sent just a second ago showed hundreds of missed calls. Feeling a bit guilty, I obediently cooperated for the photo. After taking the picture, Luis lowered his head and started typing a caption, his long fingers tapping away on the screen. I had added him on WeChat a long time ago. When I opened his moments, the top 2 posts were from him. Just got married, accompanied by 9 pictures. Live well, love slowly, not too early, not too late, just right for you. Another 9 pictures. The key thing is that all 18 pictures were pretty much the same. How many shots did he take just now? Luis raised an eyebrow. Aren't you going to like the posts? I immediately liked both of them. On the way back, I sat in the passenger seat, bored, staring out at the scenery. Andrew's car drove past from the opposite direction. We brushed past each other. Could he have thought that the location I sent meant I wanted to get the marriage certificate with him? So he rushed over? Chapter 8. A few minutes later, Andrew sent a message. I'm here. Where are you? Why didn't I see you? I blocked and deleted him on WeChat right away. He must have noticed the failed message and switched to texting. Did you block me? Do you know how much it took for me to decide to come to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get the certificate with you? Unblock me within 1 minute. There's only one chance to get the certificate, and it won't be available after this. I'll give you one last 5 minutes. After that, I'm leaving. Still that same high and mighty attitude, convinced I would never leave him, as long as he gave me a way out. I was supposed to immediately back down. I blocked his phone number and every contact method I could think of on various apps. After doing all that, I let out a sigh of relief. Luis stopped the car, walked around to the passenger side, and considerately opened the door. Come on, let's go on our honeymoon. It's the perfect time to see if you like your wedding gift. Wedding gift? When did he even prepare a gift? The moment our private jet landed, I realized that the gift he mentioned was an entire island. I had my assistant handle the property transfer. Moon Island is now under your name. Luis's gift was $1 billion island. Thinking back to the watch I gave him, I now understood why he didn't care. A watch worth tens of thousands is practically an insult to him. As we walked forward, I noticed someone fishing in the distance. Isn't this a private island? Why are there other people here? Luis glanced over, sensing my curiosity, and explained seriously. Before I bought the island, these people lived here. I don't visit often, so I didn't ask them to leave. The people on Moon Island were simple and honest. There was none of the fast pace of a big city. Everyone lived slowly, peacefully. It was incredibly relaxing, tranquil, and serene. Mr. Moo is here. Mr. Moo, I knew you were bringing Mrs. Moo today, so I caught these fish early this morning. They're fresh. Mrs. Moo, I picked these fruits from the mountain for you. Try them. They're unique to this place. You won't find them anywhere else. Mrs. Moo, I just made these snacks. Please take them. Back at the residence, my arms were full of things, almost too much to carry. I sat on the sofa, placing the snacks, fruits, and treats on the table. I happily tasted each one. I sensed a gaze on me, and when I looked up, Luis was watching me with a smile, his dark eyes reflecting little shards of light. Chapter 9. That night, after finishing my bath, I realized there was no bathrobe in the bathroom. Summoning my courage, I carefully cracked the door open and called out, Luis, are you out there? I couldn't find a bathrobe. Could you bring me some clothes? As soon as I spoke, I heard the sound of someone rummaging around outside. I sighed in relief, waiting patiently behind the door. Luis handed me the bathrobe, and I blushed as I took it, muttering a shy thank you. As I was about to close the door, I noticed he wasn't wearing any clothes, just a towel wrapped around his waist. With droplets of water still clinging to his skin, he must have just finished showering in the adjacent room. The water trickled down his abs, sliding lower and lower. My mind instantly flashed to some rather inappropriate thoughts, afraid that what happened that night might repeat itself. I quickly tried to close the door, but Luis blocked it with his arm, a smile playing on his lips. "Mrs. Mu, we're already married. You can look at me openly. No need to sneak around." That face, combined with such a teasing comment, who could resist? I dropped the bathrobe, grabbed his wrist, and pulled him into the bathroom. Luis pinned my waist against the cold tile wall, sending a shiver down my spine. By the time I stumbled out of the bathroom, my legs were like jelly, but Luis wasn't done. "Wife, the night view of Moon Island is pretty nice too. Want to check it out?" I braced myself against the glass window. The dark night reflected our intertwined silhouettes. Chapter 10. Luis didn't let me off until the early hours of the morning. I had barely fallen asleep when a phone call woke me up. My arm reached out from under the covers, blindly searching for the phone on the bed. "Hello," I rasped, my voice hoarse from the night before. "Valentina, haven't you had enough? Blocking me on WeChat. Blocking my number. I know you're still upset about Anna's pregnancy, but it was an accident. Yesterday, I took her to the hospital for an abortion, but the doctor said Anna's uterine lining is thin. If she loses this baby, she might not be able to get pregnant again. This is my fault. And once the baby is born, I'll send Anna abroad, and you'll raise the child." From his tone, I could picture his expression. It was definitely that I've already compromised. "So you better step down" attitude. "Andrew, let me give you some advice. If you've got money to burn, go to the hospital and check into the psychiatric ward." 1 second. Andrew was furious. And the next, he burst out laughing. "Aren't you just throwing a tantrum because Anna's pregnant? Fine. We'll go get married today. How's that? Where are you? I'll come get you. Or better yet, let's meet at the Civil Affairs Bureau at 10. He made the arrangements as if it were a done deal. Meet my ass. Go to the underworld and get married to your ancestors. We've already broken off our engagement. If you don't understand that, go look it up in a dictionary." Andrew was so angry on the other end that he threatened me. "Valentina, I'm giving you this one chance to get married. If you don't take it, don't regret it later. If I regret it, then I'm your ancestor, okay?" With that, I hung up and promptly blocked the unfamiliar number too. When I woke up that afternoon, I mentioned wanting to try fishing. Luis immediately arranged for a boat, and once we were out on the water, he expertly cast the net. My eyes lit up. "Have you fished before? You seem pretty skilled at it." The setting sun bathed the sea in a reddish glow. "Men are naturally good at this. No need to learn." "Wow, you're amazing." I looked at him with admiration. Luis cleared his throat, a bit embarrassed. For the next half-month, we stayed on Moon Island. Afterward, we visited Lake, Snow Mountain, and the Potala Palace. Chapter 11. Luis stood by the window, taking a call. "I understand. Of course. I'll bring your daughter-in-law over." Hearing something about me, I curiously looked up. "Tomorrow is Dad's birthday. He wants us to come back for it." "Moo grandfather's birthday?" "No. I guess I should call him Dad now. But I haven't prepared a gift yet. How about we go out and buy one now?" Luis tossed his phone aside and wrapped his arms around me. "You don't need to prepare a gift. Just tell him tomorrow that you're pregnant. That'll make him happier than any gift." For the past month, Luis had been relentless. A few days ago, I felt nauseous. After a checkup at the nearest hospital, I found out I was already pregnant. Chapter 12. The Mu family patriarch's birthday banquet was grand. Everyone important in Beijing had shown up. When Luis and I arrived, we overheard Andrew chatting with his friends. Samuel was gossiping. "So, your little aunt will be here today too, right? A month ago, the circle was buzzing about how your uncle got married and even posted a bunch of lovey-dovey pictures on social media. Too bad we don't have his WeChat, or I'd love to see who managed to capture the heart of the usually aloof Luis. Andy, how come none of us have your uncle's WeChat? And even you, his nephew, don't?" Andrew's face was dark, and he said nothing. Samuel patted him on the shoulder, unable to hold back a laugh. "If you knew it would come to this, Why did you act like that in the first place? Valentina disappeared without a word for a month, and now you're getting nervous? Standing at the entrance of the hall, Andrew scoffed. What's there to be nervous about? Today's Grandpa's birthday. She was bound to show up sooner or later. Keep telling yourself that. You'd better sweet-talk Valentina when you see her. Or if she's really determined to break off the engagement, you'll have nowhere to cry. You really believe that? A month is the most she can stay away from me. When we meet later, she'll act like nothing happened and make up with me. Hearing his confident words, I couldn't help but find it ridiculous. Don't say any more. Andy, your sister-in-law is here. Why is she standing with your uncle? They probably just bumped into each other downstairs. Andrew didn't think much of it and walked over, only showing me his back. Uncle, didn't Grandpa say my little aunt would be here today? When is she arriving? Luis raised an eyebrow at his words, a smirk playing on his lips. Looking at Andrew like he was a fool, Samuel said, I've heard that Mr. Moo got married, and today we finally get to meet the legendary Mrs. Moo. Then he nudged Andrew with his elbow. Didn't you have something to say to your sister-in-law? We can wait here for Mrs. Moo. So go ahead. He desperately gave him signals with his eyes. Andrew snorted and walked away. Samuel exclaimed, You! He looked like a babysitter, about to worry himself to death. Sister-in-law, don't hold it against him. During the month you were gone, Andy nearly turned all of Beijing upside down. Worried something might have happened to you. Just give him a few kind words, and he'll be fine. Samuel felt his words weren't convincing enough and was about to continue when I took Luis's left hand and smiled lightly. Let's go, husband. Luis was always the center of attention, no matter where he stood, dressed in his sharp suit, both striking and captivating. Samuel and his group of friends seemed to be struck by lightning, frozen in place. If I'm not mistaken, Andy's little aunt is Valentina? This is beyond shocking. How did these two end up together? So, while Andy has been deluding himself into thinking Valentina would come back during this past month, she's actually already gotten married and gone on her honeymoon? The group went through an entire pack of cigarettes outside before they could somewhat recover. Chapter 13. The news of Andrew's mistress being pregnant had already spread like wildfire through the circle. The surrounding whispers of mockery reached my ears. She's really holding back. If my husband's mistress got pregnant and came knocking, I'd have slapped the scumbag and kicked him out a long time ago. Valentina wouldn't dare. Disappearing for a month is the most she could manage. Now she's just using Grandpa Moo's birthday as an excuse to reconcile with Andrew. I don't know what's so special about that Andrew. What makes her so devoted to him? I don't get it, but I respect it. They didn't bother lowering their voices. Andrew naturally heard it too. He mockingly wrapped his arm around Anna and walked up to me. Don't worry. Mrs. Moo will always be you, and you'll raise the child in the future. Mr. Moo, you've gone too far. Cheating and still being so self-righteous about it. They're not even married yet, and she's already being forced to raise a mistress's child. If my daughter ended up like this, I'd slap her to death. One's willing to hit, and the other's willing to take it. Why are we, as bystanders, getting so worked up? Everyone held their breath, watching. I was slightly stunned and was about to speak, my hand moving to my stomach. Luis's arm wrapped around my waist, and he chuckled softly. The entire banquet hall fell silent because of his action. The guests watched intently, afraid to miss a moment. Andrew let go of Anna and, with a dark expression, demanded, Uncle, what do you mean by this? Valentina is my fiancée. Let go of her. Luis's eyes were cold and piercing. A month ago, you two broke off the engagement. Andrew gritted his teeth. I didn't agree, so it doesn't count. She's now your aunt. We've already registered our marriage, so watch your tone when speaking to your elders. The entire room collectively gasped. Did their little wedding gift cover this kind of drama? Andrew's mind raced through recent events, realizing the timeline matched up. His pupils constricted sharply. Luis didn't just win, he delivered a killing blow, saying, You can raise your own child. Your aunt won't be raising him, because she's pregnant too. She'll be raising your cousin, Luis. It was the first time Andrew had called his uncle by name. Each word seemed forced through gritted teeth. I'm Valentina's fiancé. You're the third party, ruining our relationship. Have you no shame? Andrew lunged at Luis, but before he could reach him, he was kicked away. He tried to keep fighting, but Grandpa Moo stopped him. You idiot! If you want to make a fool of yourself, don't drag the Moo family down with you. Grandpa, he stole my fiancé. Anger and madness intertwined as he shouted, completely losing his composure. If the bodyguards hadn't held him back, he would have already started brawling with Luis. Andrew's mother, seeing that the old man was getting angry, stepped forward and slapped her son. You lost her yourself. What does that have to do with your uncle? You're just a fool. When Valentina liked you, you deliberately ignored her. Now that she's married, you pull this stunt? How did I end up with such a disgraceful son like you? Get home now, and stay out of the company for a while. You've shamed your father and me enough. As the bodyguards dragged him out, Andrew was still cursing. Chapter 14. Anna witnessed everything. She hired a bunch of influential bloggers and reporters to spread rumors online. For the past month, young Mr. Moo has been desperately searching for his fiancée, worried something might have happened to her. But it turns out Valentina got married to young Mr. Moo's uncle and went on a honeymoon. When she came back, she blamed young Mr. Moo for cheating. This is beyond shameless. I can only say, the world of the rich is truly chaotic. Hashtag shocking. Fiancé seduces uncle. Andrew gets betrayed. Hashtag Valentina pregnant. Has taken her place. Hashtag. What? The truth is like this? I take back everything I said about Andrew. I wrongly accused you. I knew about Andrew's search. He almost turned Beijing upside down. I was thinking, who's lucky enough to have someone care so much? Didn't expect Valentina to be this kind of woman. Juggling two men at once. Valentina, do you have any shame? If you don't like Andrew, just let him go. You keep the title of his fiancé while messing around with someone else. No wonder he went out and found a girlfriend. It's all because of you. Now I understand young Mr. Moo. I heard young Mr. Moo doesn't have much say in the company, always being overshadowed by his uncle. Now, even his fiancé has become someone else's, and he's being falsely accused of being a scumbag. I support Anna and young Mr. Moo being together. I scrolled through the comments under the company's account. How did Anna, who knowingly became the other woman, get the audacity to pull this off? Her dirt wasn't even hard to dig up. A simple search revealed a ton. Within 10 minutes, her chat records with those bloggers were exposed. The netizens who had just been supporting her now felt betrayed. They immediately turned their keyboards against her, unleashing their anger. You only leaked information that benefits you? And you conveniently forgot to mention that you knowingly became the other woman. I'm here to reveal the truth. It's nothing like Anna claimed. She tried to climb the social ladder by having a child, deliberately poked holes in the condom, then publicly threw up to destroy young Mr. Moo and Valentina's relationship. That's why they broke off the engagement. This isn't Anna's first time pulling something like this. When we were in college, we shared a dorm, and back then, many rich wives came looking to beat her up. Her seducing wealthy men at our school wasn't a secret. Andrew and Anna are truly a match made in heaven, both shameless to the core. Thankfully, Valentina cut her losses in time and got rid of the trash. Chapter 15. At the bar, Andrew's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Annoyed, he answered. On the other end, Anna's voice trembled with fear and tears. Mr. Moo, my stomach suddenly hurts. Can you take me to the hospital? There are reporters swarming outside my building. I can't get out. Andrew hung up without a word. David wasn't surprised by how things had escalated. He knew Andrew was going to drive his wife away with his antics. Just accept it. Regretting it now won't change anything. Valentina is now your elder. Andrew downed a glass of alcohol. Has she called any of you? Samuel shook his head. What calls? She's blocked and deleted everyone who was close to you. David could see what Andrew was aiming for. You deliberately let Anna post those things online to provoke Valentina into coming back to you? Face reality. Valentina is done with you. Andrew's eyes reddened with disbelief. She's loved me for 3 years. How could she just stop loving me? It's not like this is the first time something like this has happened. When has she ever seriously held it against me? She must be trying to provoke me, to make me go after her. Yes, if I go to her, She'll come back. You're right. She's using the marriage certificate to provoke you. But Andrew wasn't listening to anything anymore. He grabbed his car keys and stormed out. Chapter 16. Luis and I went to a pet store and bought an Alaskan Malamute. We named him Little Monster. As we were carrying him home, we saw Andrew sitting on the edge of a flower bed in the neighborhood. He reeked of alcohol. His hair was disheveled, and his eyes were red and listless. People passing by probably thought he had escaped from a mental institution. The police arrived and confirmed his identity. Only then did everyone relax. Valley. I looked up, and in just a day, Andrew had become so haggard. He looked like a child who had done something wrong. His eyes red as he apologized. I'm sorry, Valley. Please don't leave me. I really know I was wrong. I took your love for granted, thinking you'd love me forever without realizing you could be hurt too. I really know I was wrong. Let's get married, and I'll treat the child in your belly as my own. Is that okay? Luis's eyes darkened. Do you want to die? Andrew responded. I'm Vala's true love. We've been together for 3 years, and she always took care of me when I was drunk. She'd make me tea to sober up. She'd come pick me up. She doesn't really love you. She's just angry with me, trying to provoke me. Luis's grip on Little Monster tightened unconsciously. Ow, ow, ow. Andrew, what you're talking about is in the past. From now on, I'll only make tea for Luis when he's drunk. I'll only pick him up from social events. Andrew stared at the dog in Luis's arms in disbelief. You're actually holding a dog? You're not afraid of dogs anymore? I had always wanted to have a large dog, but Andrew hated dogs, so I never got one. From what he said, it seemed Luis was also afraid of dogs. My wife likes them, so I'll make myself accept it. Unlike you, who only made Valley compromise to accommodate you. Luis is 3 years older than Andrew. When they were kids, they went out to play once and were both bitten by a large dog. Since then, they both had a fear of dogs. Andrew lowered his head in defeat. I'm sorry, Valley. I can keep a dog too. If that's what you like, we can have one together, okay? Whatever he can do, I can do too. I don't like you anymore. No matter what you do, I don't want you anymore. Let's go, husband. Let's go home. Luis walked past him with Little Monster in his arms, raising an eyebrow on purpose. Come on, Little Monster. Let's go home. It was a scorching summer afternoon. Andrew stood outside, his white shirt soaked with sweat. People passing by couldn't help but comment. What's he doing standing out here in this heat? Looks like he made his girlfriend mad and is trying to apologize. Suddenly, Andrew fainted, causing an elderly woman to scream in fright. She quickly called 120. A few hours later, I got a call from David. I assumed it was about a project issue. Mr. Fu, is there a problem with the project? No. I happened to run into Andrew at the hospital. He refuses to eat or drink, insisting on seeing you. He knew he was asking too much. He left the rest unsaid. Luis walked over and gestured for me to give him the phone. Mr. Fu, it's Luis. Mr. Mu, it's an honor. Although I've only been back in the country for a short time, I've heard about how your fiancé married Mr. Wu. David, Mr. Fu, are you perhaps feeling a sense of camaraderie with Andrew? David. I'm sorry. With that, he hung up the phone. Chapter 17. A few days later, my WeChat suddenly blew up with notifications, private messages, mentions in group chats. I opened the shared live stream. Andrew had converted the largest shopping mall his family owned into a dog kennel. He no longer had even a hint of the young Mr. Mu's usual charm. He was still wearing the shirt from the day he got heatstroke. It was wrinkled and stained with sweat. His hair was unkempt, and his beard was unshaven. After just a few days, anyone who didn't know better might think the Mu family had gone bankrupt. Valley, look, I'm not afraid of dogs anymore. I've got lots of every breed. Please, give me another chance. Valley, I really know I was wrong. Please don't leave me. Delayed affection is worth less than grass. When she loved you, you didn't cherish it. Now that she doesn't, you start simping. Masochist much? What's lost is lost. Brother, take my advice, go change your clothes. In your current state, Not even a loser like me would want you, let alone your ex. Get lost. Get lost. Valentina and Luis. Together forever. Don't come looking for insults. Because I'm not in the mood to curse you today. Valentina loves Luis forever. Keep the comments coming. Valentina loves Luis forever. Keep the comments coming. Chapter 18. Suddenly, a group of black-clad bodyguards stormed into the live stream. They forcibly shut it down. Get out of here! Why are you shutting down my live stream? Is Luis that insecure? He knows Valentina loves me and is worried I might win her back. That same night, Andrew was sent abroad to manage a branch office. He was forbidden from returning to the country. When I was close to giving birth, I encountered Anna. She wasn't doing well. Ever since the online backlash, she had a miscarriage due to stress and had never fully recovered. Sister, I beg you, please tell me where Mr. Moo is. I've been looking for him for so long, but I can't find any trace of him. Please, just tell me you don't want him anymore. So please just tell me. I frowned. Who let you in? Get out! Sister, please, have pity on me. Just tell me where Mr. Moo is. I'll kneel if you want. Luis walked in and saw the scene. He stood protectively in front of me and had security escort her out. He covered my ears, shielding me from the nasty curses she was shouting. Chapter 19. That day, the sky over Beijing was clear and cloudless. Luis anxiously waited outside the delivery room. With the sound of a baby's cry, a nurse emerged holding the child. Family of Valentina. It's a girl, 6 pounds 8 ounces. The father can come see the baby. His eyes remained fixed on the delivery room door. Grandpa Moo playfully scolded him. Look at you, all nervous and useless. When I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was Luis sitting beside the bed. Vali, you've been so brave. I shook my head. Where's the baby? Let me see. Is it a boy or a girl? Are they cute? Luis nodded and shook his head, leaving me confused. Finally, my mom walked over holding the baby. Luis has been by your side the whole time and hasn't even seen the baby yet. It's a girl, and she looks just like you did when you were little. I looked up in surprise. Luis handed me a cup of warm water. Drink some water first. Your lips are dry. My mom nodded approvingly. Many families focus on the baby at times like this, neglecting the mother's well-being. Have you chosen a name for the baby? Luis nodded. Faith Moo. Faith, symbolizing trust and loyalty.